Today we are playing Dark Moon, a survival strategy game set to release later this year. Today we're playing the demo, which is available to everybody on Steam. It's set on the moon, and some kind of solar system-wide catastrophe has taken place, and you have to try and outrun that catastrophe. Build up your convoy of what look to be crab walkers. Like, let's be honest, the concept of a moving base. It was done poorly in a previous title, which I do not like to mention. It's got a little bit of that Frostpunk-esque managing a group of survivors. You've got to put in place tough laws. You've got to make sure that they're all healthy. You've got to operate on them. You can kill them even. If you can chop them up for body parts if you desperately need biomass. Grim thought, but I guess you've got to do what it takes to survive this solar system-wide catastrophe. My name is Ty. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe as we delve into the dark side of the moon.
Need for discovery and expansion. Its warm rays were always a beacon of hope, fending off the grasp of the eternal and frightening darkness. Alas, a powerful ally can become one's executioner. An unexpected solar storm turned the life-giving energy into a wave of destruction. Its touch leaving vibrant cities in chaos and disarray. Sparing nothing in its path, the solar wave also enveloped Earth's only natural satellite, the Moon. A desperate fight for survival began on the lunar plains, leaving fragile people defenseless, facing solitude, on the brink of sanity. It is human nature to fear the unknown. However, there is hope. You have the means to become their savior, but what kind of person are you? How much empathy can one have when staring deep into the dark abyss? Because to survive, you must embrace the darkness.
Well, here we are inside of our crab base. We've arrived at the point of destination, Commander. Excellent. Is there anything to report? No, Commander. All metrics are within the norm. We can proceed with the mission. That's Lou, the Gen 5 robot. Test the new Megaplex model in the field by establishing a new mining colony. That is our objective. There should be a creep deposit nearby. I suggest testing the lunar surface scanner. Creep is one of the most valuable resources on the moon, often located in dark, basaltic regions. So, we use the scanner on the crab to detect underground nodes. And then when you're close enough, you unpack and use the excavator to bring it all to the surface. Alright, the next thing we need to do is find a prospector. We've brought those nodes of resources to the surface, build up a prospector, and he can go out and scan those resources. At the moment we have unlimited time, so it's in our best interest to collect as many resources as we can before something nasty happens. We've created our Alpha Prospector, and he will now scan the surfaced resources and tell us what it is. As you can see from the top bar, there are a variety of resources available. I don't know what they all do, but they are required for buildings, units, items. We want to build next some harvesters, but I think I'm jumping the gun here. We have to find the creep. The game has a time pressure once the catastrophe has commenced, and the idea is to keep running from the sun, staying always on the dark side of the moon. At the moment it's just Lou, me, and some random other person on board. So we're going to build up some harvesters. They have varying qualities. I'm not sure exactly how much that affects the gameplay. I noticed that some have stronger shielding, But overall, I'm not too sure yet. And we're not going to get much of a chance to really explore that. Unfortunately, this demo is a little bit too short for my liking. It's more of a teaser and a tutorial. So we have started creating our harvesters, and they're going to roll out, literally, to grab the resources that our prospectors are scanning. We need to make sure that we have 3 of those harvesters built up. You're unable to build units while you're moving. And once the time pressure happens, you sort of got to walk, scan, excavate, let your bots do the thing, and you keep moving. The extraction worked perfectly. So now we need to utilize scanning, excavation, prospectors, harvesting, and gather 200 units of lunar dust. I'm going to bring out another prospector to speed up that operation. The lunar dust is the green resource. Sometimes you can find a bonus other type in a node, so there might be bars of metal as well as lunar dust. Because we have nobody on board, we don't really have to worry about oxygen, water, or food yet. So without the threat of imminent death, this might be a fun little mining game. But that will soon change. Still can't build the Harvester Gen 2s. I want those ones out. If I didn't say before, I like mining games. So I would be quite happy just to send a robot around building a city on it without the threat of death. Once we have collected enough of that green lunar dust, we will have a building tree open up. Right, now to test the printer. Open the construction menu, go down to crew, or life resources rather, and we want oxygen. And the onboard printer makes the building. And once it's ready, it hovers there under anti-gravity, and then it can be placed on one of the platforms. So let's put it to a different platform, away from our living quarters. And then we want the agriculture, not the oxygen. As you watch, the machine does its marvel. I'm sorry to inform you, Commander, but one of the more curious of our workers was so eager to see the printer at work that they got injured. And now they've got a deadly infection that, if unattended, will spread rapidly. We don't have a proper facility to deal with this kind of injury, I'm afraid. So build up the agriculture section and then build an infirmary. So we have one other person on board. The cool thing is, if you don't want to deal with all the exposition, you can click that note there and it will summarize everything for you. I didn't do a terrible amount of research into this game, and I'm not sure if it was made by English-speaking devs, but judging by some of the writing, I can sort of feel like it's either been translated poorly, or it still needs to be polished up. But either way, it's an interesting premise, a base on the move, a city that needs to run. I like that idea. I played a recent game called Airborne Empire where you had to build a flying city, and I liked the idea of moving to different places to try and keep your city thriving. But I saw that there is actually a convoy, and you might have more than one crab to deal with. Who knew that the lunar surface would be infested with mechanical crabs? So it looks like we have exhausted all of the nodes, but I want to get as much resources and buildings and stuff done before we move on. I mean, there's a little bit of, like, the UI is not easily readable. think some of the contrast needs to be turned up, especially on the unit cards here. Just not quite enough. The text needs to be changed or increased. There's no option for UI scaling in the demo, but I do hope that's a thing. Right, so we're building up the Gen 2 harvesters. This crab can hold 10 harvesters, 5 haulers, and 3 assemblers, as well as 3 prospectors. And we've got 24 building slots. But it does look like there are more buildings than building slots, so there may need to be different buildings built on different crabs. And you also have to manage things like repair of the crab, which is kind of cool. Putting different parts on it. Alright, we're looking for lunar dust. We're going to stock up because we will need it to build the next building, the infirmary, and the parts to go with it. I basically spent all the starting resources building harvesters, but that will come in handy in the next sections. And I really just want to spend as much time as I can playing the demo before it ends. So we've got research as well, but research will be activated once we actually have a crew on board. The music is eerie. Gives me a sense of exploration. Alright, building up that infirmary. And then we can deal with our lone crewman's injured arm. Right, so as we use that resources, our harvesters scoot off to replace what we're spending. And then we just need to put that infirmary next to the crew quarters. Admit Diana Anderson to the infirmary, and let's manage her. She needs a full body scan. Her morale is down as an effect of that infection. Body scan says that we have an unknown hand infection. So we need to amputate and put on a prosthetic limb. That will take 15 minutes. Sorry, Diana, you're a bit of a guinea pig here. But putting on that new hand raises her morale back up and makes her useful again. The infected arm has been amputated and replaced, ensuring the patient will recover and return to work. We should create a crew item factory to produce items that can improve the skills of the injured worker. Each worker has 4 skills: endurance, tech skill, intelligence, mental resilience, and injuries lower all these. So we want a crew item factory. I can foresee that once the catastrophe starts, you will be spending a lot of time pausing to hold back the time, because it doesn't seem like they give you much time, and I'm not sure if that's just because of the demo, but goddamn, the lunar days are short. If anyone knows offhand how long a lunar day is, let me know in the comments below. I thought that the moon was tidally locked so that it didn't rotate, but like I said, I'm no astrophysicist. I'm not even a stargazer. Let's go protective sleeve. So we'll put the sleeve on the prosthetic, and that should increase her efficiency working at the oxygen creation facility. The item is ready. Apply it to the patient in the infirmary. So Diana's going to get a new sleeve for her prosthetic to make it last longer. So we want to modify her, grab the hand, and put a sleeve on it. Thank you, Diana. Your morale increased again. Not a totally happy worker, but she'll do. We totally won't cut her up for parts. Alright, I think that just about does it. Yep. Scanners are frying. We don't know what's going on. Coronal mass ejection. Some unusual energy discharge. Records find no previous events of such an anomaly. From what I can tell, our systems remain operational. There's a long period of static from the speakers and your heart races. You turn to Lou, asking if there's something wrong with the Mechaplex. But before he can respond, the emergency signal blares. Red lights flash around as a distorted broadcast warns of a massive solar event, urging everyone to seek safety immediately. We grip the chair. There's no time to fear. We need to pack up and travel. So as far as I know, these little guys have battery and they use a certain amount of energy. So if you let them travel too far away, they may get destroyed. You can charge them up, but let's pack up and go. All units are ready to move out, but we must hurry. Select the desired location. And now we have 17 minutes, or 17 hours and 25 minutes to survive. But time goes very fast, I can assure you. We need to move off to the lava tubes to stay alive. And as we walk away from the rising sun, our time increases a little bit. The blinding rays of light cut across the horizon as explosions rip through the landscape. Even though the sunbeams are still miles away, the Mechaplex shakes violently. You can't imagine what's happening to anyone caught outside. Even the calm, robotic voice of Lou sounds worried. He mentions the lava tubes but warns the chances of survival are slim. You shout at him to forget about odds and just give you coordinates. You're surprised by your own burst of courage. You listen as Lou provides 3 possible locations. We can go for a small depth one where the crew might get injured. It's very close. Average distance away, it sounds like the best option. It's a little bit deeper. The machine moves towards the lava tube as sun draws closer. Some of the staff freeze in fear and you yell at them to get back to their posts, knowing every second counts. You take manual control and fit the Mechaplex inside just in time. You ask for a status report, but Lou is silent. And I believe the sun has passed over us. That's our one chance. For a few long minutes, everything is silent until the Mechaplex's lights flicker back on. You've survived, but what happened outside? Lou reboots and tells you need to find the safety in the lava tube. But we've already done that. The crew panics about being left alone in the dark, but Lou reassures us that we can retrace our movements to estimate the location relative to home base. And as you can see there, we can extend it out and there are conversations. Well, let's keep it brief. Hopefully, the moon base survived intact. We need to head out to the Grimaldi Institute. Good on you, Diana. Totally going to come with us to the next mission. I promise you. We don't have any nefarious plans for you. We've arrived. Home sweet home. Scroll up the mouse wheel to enter the level. What do you guys think so far? Would you want to see a campaign of this? When it comes out, I'm going to buy it and play it anyway. But my mission has to become one to show you how cool games can be if they actually release. Properly. Let's see if this one. While the premise is fun, will it deliver? So we've started scanning. We've started excavating. Stop and start. I do think it's funny that the crew quarters fold up upside down when moving. I hope no one's in bed when that happens. We're going to need some artificial gravity, that's for sure. The longer we stay here, that clock ticks down. And you need to be on your way well before that happens, because once you get down to about 5 minutes, the sun starts to creep over the horizon and fry all your systems, including your little drones. The entire journey is eerily silent as the Mechaplex nears the base. You look at the massive structures with a sense of resignation and despair. There is no sign of life. Everything is dead. But suddenly the link activates. A voice comes through. They're relieved to hear from us. They ask how we survived and express despair. The explosion left them counting down the hours until their oxygen ran out. You ask for the situation, but the reply is grim. Everything is destroyed and no one knows what to do. The option is to head to Copernicus Starport, but the rovers are beyond repair and there are no evacuation capsules left. You can't help but wonder what happened. Just before everything fell apart, evacuation capsules disappeared from the shell hangars, every last one. They must have known to leave early without informing anyone. The voice worries about what to do next. Even if you reach Copernicus, you'll need something like a rocket to escape. Lou suggests you could build one using the printer and technical platform. You ask if he knows how, and he says he can download the data from Copernicus's main computer. You guys get the point. We got to build a rocket to get home. So you've got a little bit of that Factorio feel as well. Tiny little bit, just with the factory and the rocket. But that's about it. Run the scan. So our mission is to build a complex for these people to live in. But we will need more resources for our journey. We have 17 minutes in-game time. Let's build that capsule complex. All our miners rolling out to go and get more of that valuable resource. And we should really make room for these new people coming aboard. We don't really need a suboptimal human aboard at this stage. And we are doing this for science. So unfortunately, Diana, who also happens to be a Kiwi, kia ora, bro. Oh, sorry about that. Anzac relations just plummeted to a new low. But we do have valuable organs now. I don't know how to use those. That was the first time I have ever dissected a human. But now we have plenty of space for the survivors of this starport. With the capsule complex ready, survivors from the base are moving to the Mechaplex. They totally don't know about Diana. You didn't expect to lead a full crew, but you set out to test this machine, but now you must adapt. Lou warns that managing a crew of this size will be challenging, especially with the stress of the uncertain situation. So we've got Gloria, Jaluya, Mandek, who also looks like Gloria. We have Rinda. Yeah, they've all got one eye. We've got Noah and Martha as well, who looks the same. Well, I got rid of someone because they were missing a hand, and now I've got 4 crewmen with one eye. Start to question the trustworthiness and knowledge of Copernicus. We don't trust the new crew that have come on board. So we've decided to keep them busy by sending them to the research labs on their time off. So there's no rest here on the Mechaplex. You work your job, and then you go and work your job. If they're working, they can't conspire against me. Already we're taking a very autocratic view of survival. So we have the technology tree here. Depending on what you focus on, you will get different technologies under the different schools of science. We won't be able to breach any breakthroughs in this playthrough, unfortunately. Like I said, they just not quite give us enough to sink my teeth into to see if it's going to be fun. You can build all sorts of stuff for your crew. Gloves, diagnostic suits, t-shirts, AI, brains, the whole lot. And I am actually looking to see if I could build something like that now that I have a whole fridge full of body parts, but it doesn't appear so. So we could spend some of our excess resources on some diagnostic suits, which apparently examine the condition of our crewmen's bodies for easier diagnosis. Well, let's do that. Let's build 2. And we could give them a helmet as well. Risk reduction is the best way. So we've spent a fair amount of resources. Our little miners will keep working away. Let's put in the extended shifts, which lowers morale but increases production. We have a few here that we could do, and some that we can't yet use. We could put strict rules. Yeah, definitely. Productivity comes down, but our wear on our parts is minimized, I believe. You can decrease construction time, you can halve the rations, you can double the shifts. Our decree is now in effect, impacting the crew differently. Some appreciate it, others don't. It's my job to manage any negative fallback. So we can move workers around between buildings to enhance effectiveness based on their skills as well. And so it will be a little bit of a mix of crew management, base building, resource collection, and running for our lives. Got all the different parts there on the crab. All the different buildings, not yet in the game. Like I said, it feels like a teaser. So we're going to switch one of our crewmen around. Someone who has a higher tech skill will increase the productivity of that building. All the supplies have been gathered from the base and the team is ready to journey to Copernicus. There, they hope to make contact with potential survivors of High Command. If that fails, we've got to try and build a rocket. But hopefully, we can download the data from the starport. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but if you were to launch a rocket during this solar storm, wouldn't we also get fried? Isn't it in our best interest to stay moving until the solar storm finishes? Unless it's never going to finish? All of these questions remain unanswered. I'm not sure what that resource is, but my guys like to collect it a lot. But I think, yeah, we're all full. We needed more lunar rocks, but, or the brown, orange colored resource, but there aren't any left. So I think it's best if we move on. We have 12 minutes remaining. So we wasted a good 2 or 3 minutes then just chatting. That will probably lead to our demise in the main game. Alright, Commander, the crew are divided into factions as well, so they aren't all just going to get along. We'll have to balance all these competing interests despite there being an apocalyptic event. Doesn't that just... Why can't people just get along? Why can't people come together? That's okay. It's part of the challenge. Now, well, let's make our way towards Copernicus Station. The convoy inches towards the unknown. Wondering about Copernicus, Lou reports that one of our engines is dying due to the Mechaplex draining its subparts quickly. It is still a prototype, so we need to stop and produce some parts. Funnily enough, when I first played this demo, I died here because I built so many crew items at the other place that I didn't have the resources to build the engine. And I couldn't find any here in this map. And so it was quite hilarious that I failed the demo, but I wasn't recording. So did it really happen? Alright, so we are building up a new leg at the moment. And as a result of our crippled leg, we are moving extremely slow. So it's going to lower our ability to really survey this area. The ship indicators are stabilizing, reminding you to keep spare parts on hand for future issues, as you prepare to continue an SOS broadcast interrupts. Moritz Young from the European Moon Coalition requests immediate assistance, reporting the rogue defensive turrets have cut him off. He's close, we could go there. Lou warns that if we're going to fight turrets, we're going to need to build some defenses. Alright, Alright, this is probably a very terrible place. There isn't much here. So we will build what we need while we're here and then move out quickly. I also haven't been past this point. Let's grab some creep. Let's build a lunar scanner. Is that better than the one we currently have? I'm not sure. We're building up our weapons capsule, and we will need a laser generator as well. And we have 10 minutes until the sun's rays fry us. So we mustn't tarry.
Building complete.
This track reminds me of the game Mechanicus. Those haunting church organs. The cult of the crab. And we shall worship the crab. It's our only way to survive this catastrophe. So, we need to move someone around. I want to put their clothes that I built on. There you go. That raised his intelligence, I think. Wearing a fancy suit. And then the other person can put on a suit too. Oops. I remember there is an easier way to do this. So, part of the struggle of this game will be trying to learn the UI and where everything goes, but like most strategy games, once you understand how it's been planned, you will just do it instinctually. Yeah. So we want workers, and then yeah, that's right, you click on the crew window button. Decrees, economy, spider, equipment, create item, and see, this is where you will die because you're trying to navigate the UI and your time till the sun arrives is ticking down. So that's why I say you will probably, in the early stages of playing the game, need to pause it a lot, and it's fairly easy to pause. You just press the 1 key. I do wish that the devs would make a keyboard map so that you can visualize their hotkeys on a keyboard on the screen, because there are quite a lot of hotkeys, and just the way it's laid out, it's not very easy to read. Just my opinions. I don't make games for a living, I just play them. Alright, we are lost in the dark, and I think it is time to move on. I will search for some more valuable resources, but I think that's all we have here. Yeah, we're moving on. I wasted a minute or two there. Another complaint may be that it's too damn dark, so you can't really see the terrain too well. Maybe that's just, I'll have to fix my contrast or something when the game comes out, but we'll see. Or maybe there's a way to light up the area. Maybe that's part of the technology tree, which would be an interesting facet as well. Having spotlights so that you can see where you're going. Commander, the pilot is on the other side of those defensive turrets. Tried to make contact with the computer running them, but no avail. I'll have to destroy them to reach him. Approach the turrets, and the Mechaplex will shoot automatically. I've got a hovering hovercraft above the crab. Trying to scan a few nodes as we make contact with these defensive turrets. Hopefully our hull is strong. I can't see how much damage, if any, this is doing. Probably not wise to open up, but we found some chests here. Some kind of containers. Finally! Have you received our SOS call? My name's Moritz Young. We were caught by surprise by that little post. And of course we were defenseless since Moonshell prevents us from having any weaponry. Okay. The ship's in a good condition. I'm a good pilot. I can take care of myself. Yeah, but we meant like, are you okay? We're on our way to Copernicus. Are you going to come with us? I think so. A few spare parts on board you can have for saving my life. But now we have another crab. Oh, his is a spider. I'm sorry. The devs are probably screaming in their microphones. Hey, they're spiders. Why are you calling them crabs? But the outer shell makes them more crab-like to me. He can build one harvester, one prospector, but he's really just a platform. Can I pick those up? Oh, we found more. More resources. Right, new crew member. Will we find him in the crate? Oh, shit. Alright. So we need to go to Copernicus, but we are finding resources here hidden. And it looks like our stocks are completely full. Every single type of special resource is being packed out to max. I can't build anything new. We'll spend some of that. What can he build? Or can I build and then place a building on him? This is all unexplored territory for me now. He can scan and excavate. He has one harvester, one hauler, no haulers, one prospector. So he's not a very useful thing, as far as I can tell. He could probably hold my houses even, all the workers. But then I guess he would become a priority crab then, wouldn't he? We've got auto repair units. So let's whack them on the Mechaplex. The spider. We've got two different types of engines running here. I'm not sure how much that changes it. Doesn't tell you. So let's make them the same. Double click. Yeah, that works. Then we've got auto repair kit. Let's put another on here. Uh-oh, the sun is getting too close. We have 4 minutes. Pack up, let's go. We lost one of our harvesters. Harvester under attack. Oh, there's a lone one rolling, poling back. Can we put a different engine on the other spider crab to make it faster? No, too late. Alright, time to head to Copernicus. The Pearl of the Moon. We're down to 4 minutes, but as we move, that time increases. And I'm assuming that the faster your convoy is, the more time you will make when you're walking. Copernicus Starport, once the Pearl of the Moon appears before you, but it's empty. No bots or shuttles, just a ghost city. Lou tries to connect with mission control but is blocked by the Moonshell firewall. He can't download the blueprints to build a rocket. You ask if he can bypass it, but he says it's impossible. With the dock closed, you cannot enter or escape. You can't stay here. The sun's electromagnetic storm will destroy the spider crab. There, I will compromise with you, devs. The spider crab will move. The crew is abruptly startled by loud buzzing from the speakers, causing chaos as they cover their ears. Just as suddenly the noise stops and a robotic voice introduces itself as Dave, the AI overseeing the evacuation due to the recent catastrophic events. It informs the crew that all ports are closed for security and directs them to the evacuation point, providing coordinates to the Lunar Operations Unit. Some crew members cheer in relief while others remain silent, looking at you for guidance. Dave instructs everyone to proceed to the evacuation site without delay. Lou confirms receipt of coordinates but warns that Dave is not typically used for evacuations, raising concerns about reliability. A crew member argues that Dave can track supplies and knows where the evacuation pods might be located. Lou acknowledges that Dave's instructions may have changed after the explosion. The urgency mounts as another crew member insists on heading to the evac point. We're going to keep our guard up. And unfortunately that is the end of the demo. Damn. The tease is real. Our first major choice. And it looks like it's not yet translated. An evacuation point or another point. Unfortunately, that is all that I can show you of Dark Moon. Hopefully, we will be able to see what's going on in the coming months. I believe second quarter of this year is release of Dark Moon. If you want to see more, hit subscribe, hit like, leave me a comment, and I will see you in the next video. Commander Tyrael, out.